Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. In the last video that we did, we finished painting these this three-piece papier-mâché collection. We did the vase, the flower vase. We did the trinket bowl, and we did the oval shaped bowl in the last video. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch that and you want to, I'll link it down below. So we're just going to set these off to the side and we're going to let these finish drying. I'm going to seal them and then eventually they'll be on my website, which is also linked down in the description. So we're just going to set these off to the side. Okay, so I'm so excited for this next papier-mâché bowl. With the fall season coming up, it's a pumpkin. It's a big pumpkin. You can put candy in it. You can make it as a centerpiece for your table. It's something you can keep left out for most of the holiday seasons. But I want to show you how we made this. So I have a mold, wire mold. I just picked up at, I believe it was the Dollar Tree. And this is what we're going to use today to do this papier-mâché pumpkin bowl. Okay, so we have our paste, which is the flour and the water and the salt. What we're going to do differently today is instead of waiting until the natural form of this papier-mâché dries and then we paint it, I'm going to go ahead and put the paint in the flour paste. So, you know, from the beginning I said you needed to make it like a pancake consistency, make sure all the lumps are out of it, and then what we're going to do, instead of painting it afterwards, we're just going to add paint to the paste. So we got some orange paint. This is just regular pure orange. Of course, that's the color of pumpkins. And we're going to just stir this in. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I don't know if you can see this. Pretty orange color. Sometimes you need a little bit more paint, acrylic paint. Because the paste is like an off-white, so you may need to add just a little bit more color to it if you want it to be darker. So we're just going to kind of stir it in there like that. Okay, since this bowl has two colors on it, you see the green and the orange color, we have two separate bowls of flour mixture. So this one we did orange because it's going to be the base of the pumpkin bowl. And then this was like an English ivy green, just like a mossy green. Gives it kind of a darker color. I'm going to use this for the stem. Let's wipe this off so we don't get the colors mixed up. And you're not going to need a whole lot of paste for this because you're just doing the stem, and we're going to do that at the end. But we're just going to go ahead and get this mixed up so you guys can see it. Look how pretty that is. Look at that green. Okay. Actually, I want that to be a little bit darker, so let's just add a little bit more. Ivy green. Yeah, see how that's turning out. Very pretty. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we got a stack of thick paper towels. You got your paste. I'm going to put plastic wrap over this. Don't have to worry about spraying it. with any kind of, oil spray like we had done before in the other videos and the other molds. You don't have to do that with this one. Well, I think if I could get the plastic wrap to agree with me. I never could understand these. Pull it out, it's all stuck together. Okay, that's okay. It doesn't matter what it looks like anyway, because it's not gonna matter. But we need to make sure that we get it tight. This thing just absolutely does not want to cooperate with me today. Goodness. Okay. Okay, we're just going to keep wrapping this. Wasn't expecting it to be so difficult today. Oh, here we go. All right. Now we're making progress. Okay. And you're going to want to wrap this completely up. Like I said, it really doesn't matter what it looks like, obviously. Being wrapped up, and we're going to want to wrap this stem. I have never had such a hard time getting cling wrap out of the box. Oh my goodness. What is happening here? Oh my gosh. Okay. Struggle. Okay. Holy cow, what a fight. Okay. Sheesh. So we're going to set this off to the side. Okay, so let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to take thick paper towels. We're going to dip them in the orange first, and we're just going to layer this pumpkin. Rings off. Dip it in the orange paint. Now, if you want, you can use gloves because you're using paint. I don't worry about it too much because I wash my hands right afterwards and it comes right off with soap and water. Okay. And then we're just gonna layer it right across this frame, just like this. You guys can see that. Maybe I can do it backwards. See how that turns out. You'll want to layer this one way and then layer it another. And I'll show you as we go along here. Dip and layer, dip and layer, dip and layer, dip and layer, dip and layer. I wanted to lay it long ways over the frame because when this dries, it is going to leave the little indentions like a pumpkin, like the pumpkin lines that you would see in a pumpkin. But it's up to you. If you want to lay it long ways, it's fine. Like we did this one, you could flip-flop it around. You can lay one long ways. You can lay one, vertical, horizontal, however you want to do it. It's your piece. It's your bowl. just make sure you have just layer it with plenty of layers. And that's one of the reasons why I really like using the thick paper towels, because it just makes its own little design once it dries. I don't think I've said that enough on these videos. It does. It's absolutely gorgeous when it's dried. We're just going to keep going. This is kind of a bigger piece, so it's going to take a little longer. You know, if you don't want to watch the whole process, you can always fast forward to the end. And then you can see it. And of course, just like with any of the pieces that I've talked about before in the videos, it takes anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. This one, the first bowl that I made is not super thick, doesn't have a lot of layers to it. So it didn't take quite a long time. The thing is once it dries about 24-ish something hours in, it still has a little bit of bend to it. And that's when you're gonna want to take it off of this mold. Because if you don't, the longer it sits and dries, the harder it's going to be to get off of the mold. So you're going to want to try to get it off of there pretty quickly, but not to where it's so damp that when you do take it out of the mold, the whole piece just collapses. You don't want to do that. You just got to eye it, and you gotta eye it, and you gotta feel it to see where it is in the drying process. And then just let it sit for another, I would say another day. So, you know, a good 48 hours, 24, take it off the mold, let it sit for another 24. The longer that it sits, the harder it's going to get. The harder the piece is going to get. You don't have to necessarily have to wait that long to paint it, but I would at least wait 72 hours, if not longer, to paint it, if that's what you're wanting to do. The easiest part about that is, or about this is when you add the paint in, then you don't have to worry about it. And not only that, it's through every single layer. Instead of just being on a surface that you would paint it with acrylic or watercolors. I mean, we painted the first trinket bowl with watercolors. It turned out really pretty. Never done that before. But at least, you know, the paint goes all the way through. Every layer is painted or coated. But if you want to add, I'm just going to turn this around where you guys can see this. So we're getting around to the front where the stem is. And we're just going to leave that stem till the last part, because we're going to use the green paste to do that stem. And you don't have to necessarily keep your pumpkin orange and green. You can always make your pumpkin whatever color you want to make your pumpkin. And you could leave it out all year long if you wanted to do that. Okay, so we're just going to smooth this out. These layers. Okay, so we have the first layer on. Now we're going to work on the second one. I think we're going to run out of paste before I even get through to the second one. Oh, let's get this in. love this type of paper mache. I fell in love with this art medium quite a while ago. I mean, that's something I've always enjoyed is art. I think I took every art class I could take. Love to draw, love to paint, love to do crafts. Kind of started that, way back as a young child. I come from a generation that we didn't, have cell phones and Nintendo games. I think we had Atari at the time. So we would just sit around at Grandma's house on Sundays and work on crafts, which was awesome. Kind of, miss those days, but it did carry on with me throughout the years. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get more flour. I am. And like I said, don't worry about if you rip little pieces. Just rip it right on off. And just rub it on down. Okay, I am going to use this up and then I am going to have to go get some more. This is definitely not done. Doesn't have enough layers. Probably going to be looking at about 4 to 6. We're on layer 2. And see how that just rips off. It's okay. We'll just let it rip. Let it rip, tater chip. I'm just going to keep pushing that down. I'm not going to worry too much about those edges either because we're going to take those off as soon as we get it up on the drying stands. We're just going to peel that right off. But you do want to make sure you kind of get out the air bubbles in all of this. Okay, so we got some more paste mixed up. And we're just going to finish layering this bowl, this pumpkin bowl. Perfect little accessory to your home decor for the fall season. I brought you guys a little bit closer so you can see how this bowl is unfolding. So just going to keep rubbing these out. You can pick up little molds and stuff from anywhere, any of your hobby craft stores, you know, wherever you shop, little dollar stores. And right now is the best time to find them because it's heading into that season, coming at the end of August, beginning of September. Hopefully the weather follows. Starts cooling down. Seems to have cooled down. We've gotten some rain over the past few days and it's not 190 degrees outside. I mean, it's still hot outside, don't get me wrong. It's Florida. It's always hot outside. Well, not always, but sometimes. Most of the time. Put a few more here on each side and then we're going to work on that stem. We're going to change colors. It's amazing what you can do with papier-mâché and paint. I mean, like I said, if you didn't want to make your pumpkin orange, you can make your pumpkin tropical colors. You can make it rainbow color. You can make it any color you want. Tad. Ooh, sticky, sticky. I'm gonna get a couple more layers here on this end. This orange is really pretty. Orange. Such a great art form, such a forgiving form. I mean, anybody can do this, you guys. This is easy and relaxing and enjoyable. And you have this beautiful piece of artwork that never can be duplicated or replicated because you can never lay the paper the same. Somebody is not going to be able to lay the paper the same as you laid your paper. So you're always going to hold the original piece. You could even give them away as gifts. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I tell you what, it seems like every week that I head to the grocery store or head to any store, all the prices are going up. I mean, going up. Whew. It's getting pricey out there. So making your own little DIY gift, I just think that means more than going out and just buying something that has been duplicated over and over and over again. Give somebody an original piece of artwork. Okay, this scene, I'm gonna go ahead and let me add another piece to this piece to the front here. It's a little, seems a little thin on the thin side. And that is the one thing about working with your hands. You can feel that. Like I can feel that this, you know, needs another piece. You can. That's what's amazing when you work with your hands, with art, pottery, clay, anything like that. You know what? I think I'm gonna just lay that other piece there like this. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do, I think I'm one thing about that paste, it starts thickening up as you go along. Sometimes you can add a little bit of water to it, thin it out a little bit more if you need to. If it's taking you a little bit longer on a piece, that's fine too. All right. Okay. So I think that's going to be just about it. You know what? I think I'm going to use this piece here to just fill this little space in. Okay. Maybe turn it around this way. Yep. There it is. There it is. Okay. So we got that. Okay, we got all of this smoothed out. Okay, so now we're going to work on the stem. I'm going to turn this around so I can get to it. So we stuck to the paper. All right. I'm hoping you guys can see this still. Throw off those little extra pieces. So anyway, this is what the back of it looks like. Okay. So let me wipe my hands off here a little bit before we start on this next one. Now, I didn't put a lot of paste in here. because we're not going to need a lot of paste because we're only doing the stem. Green. An English ivy green. Okay. Actually, I'm thinking we're probably only going to need two. Just get it nice and saturated. Nice and saturated. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fold this in half like this. And then we're just going to lay it right over the top. And then when this dries, it's going to dry all together. I mean, literally dry all together. We're going to do one more. Ooh. That's all we have to do one more, which is fine. We only need to do one more. Okay, let's get this all saturated with the green paste color. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip this, and then I'm going to just kind of run it along here, you know, kind of like a pumpkin. And then we're going to rip this side. See how that turned out? And you can just form this to make it, I mean, you do your stem however you want. You want to leave it bulky, you can. If you want to make it skinny, you can. I mean, whatever you want to do. Scrunch it up. I think I'm going to do the scrunchie on this one. Okay. So there we go. It's all finished. And then we're going to let this dry. So this is the part that I wanted to show you guys. So the bowl is done. It's still wet. I've got my drying racks out, and I will show you what gravity does. So let me move this so you guys can see how this works. So I got my drying racks. Okay. In order for these to stay up here, I literally have to put it on the edges of this frame and balance it in between. But what was the neatest thing when I did this with the first bowl is gravity is literally making this whole frame shift, and it gives you the indentions of the pumpkin. So what we're going to do right now is, because there is extra layers, I'm just going to go around the pumpkin and take off some of these extra layers that are here around the edges. I don't know if you guys can see this. I mean, you don't have to take these off. You can leave them if you want to. I am choosing to take them off. These sculptured edges is what I'm talking about. Just gonna work our way around. Kind of gives it that jagged, rugged pumpkin look. I'm hoping you guys see this and I'm not in the way of the camera. And then I just left this side up here. Just pinch it right off. It's so easy to do. And I'm just scrunching up the stem a little bit over here on this side. So when it dries, it has that wrinkly look. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of pinch this off here like that. Okay, great. That looks great. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to let this dry for about 24 hours. Then we're going to take it off of that mold. Then we're going to let it dry for another 24 hours. And then around 72 hours and longer, it will be ready.